You're welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis show. And you got to get value for your money in the Aquaba promo from Bank of Africa. And it is happening until the 31st of January 2017. All you've got to do is open a current or savings account and earn unbeatable commissions on your deposit. Contact any Bank of Africa branch and enjoy. Also, you need to have the best of internet speed, and that could only be gotten from MTN 4G LTE, and you will get a whopping 100% bonus when you bundle. All you got to do is simply dial *585# and check if your device is 4G compatible, and then with an ID card, visit any MTN service center near you and you will be signed on. You can make it happen quick. Everything you always wanted of insurance is online. You buy, you renew, and make your claims all in 3 easy steps. You just log on to starassurance.com, follow the easy steps to get your insurance online. It's that easy and quick. Star E-Insurance, possible anywhere, anytime. Star Assurance, that is your solid partner. And if you're looking for the best of fertilizers to use to avoid poor seasonal yields and post-harvest losses, then the fertilizer you need to get is ACAP Compost Fertilizer from the Accra Compost and Recycling Plant. And that is organic, and it gives you naturally it's made from naturally farm waste, decomposed naturally into humus, and is very suitable for agricultural purposes. It's available in all leading agro import dealers and distributors across the country. You can also call 020-1735564. That is ACAP Compost Fertilizer. Also, if you're looking for the latest technologically advanced, trendy, and durable yet affordable stone-coated roofing tiles, that is Fair Roof. It's a luxury you can afford. All they require from you is your roof plan, and they will meet your tastes. That's their priority. You locate them, White Temple Agencies Limited, on plot number 65 Derby Avenue on the Children's Hospital Road, adjacent to NHIS Building Arena, or their sales office branch at Old Weja Barrier, Accra West, and you will be taken care of. Ines Fly has a new technology that kills mosquitoes and other pests for up to 2 years after painting. With Ines Fly insecticide paint, you prevent malaria one time instead of trying to manage the health problem. So, as their motto goes, paint malaria out with Ines Fly insecticide paints. Ines Fly insecticide paints are available in all selected retail shops near you. You could also call 0577 70 1000 for more information. Thank you very much for staying with us here on Newsfile. And the show is also brought to you by the Medi Moses Prostate Center, who have a specially formulated health drink that improves all problems in urination for you. I'm talking about the Prostacure tea. And Medi Moses Center is located at Adenta Barrier, Tema Ajekojo, or Ahenma Kokobing in Kumasi. Contact them and get yourself freed from any problems you have as far as urinating is concerned. Thank you. Now, the Reverend Professor Mati has come out. He held a press conference and told the whole world that a politician sought to bribe him, offered him, $100,000, and then offered him a home at Trasaco with a swimming pool. He emphasizes on that. And also, one other thing, and a car, a Land Cruiser, and he declined. His PR has come out to contradict him, to say that his former PR, dismissed, has come to contradict him, to say that he was aware of the situation. The man actually accepted it, and he was offered 50,000 out of, that was an additional money, and he rather rejected it. It's become an issue. What do you make of that? And people are saying, why would he put that information out in the first place? He feels he's being attacked, particularly by politicians, particularly the ruling government, and he's unhappy about it. But should he be saying these things?
Not at all. I think if you feel you have been attacked by a political group, this is not the best way to defend yourself. And I kept asking myself, why now? Because from what I have read and then heard, it happened somewhere in 2013.
That's so. 3
years down the line. So why are you saying it now? But then again, if your dismissed PRO comes to contradict you, it becomes murky in everything. What I would say is that I think that this is
but
something that
it ought to be said that the current PRO also has said, or his spokesperson rather, has said that they believe that the Professor Mati is incorruptible. The Christian Council has also issued a statement to that effect. So the church actually is behind him.
I can agree, the church can be behind him. But you know, now it has become public information. It's something that is being discussed around. I am of the view that he has led a very big church in this country before. And when you look at the contribution of the Presbyterian Church to the hospital, to the schools, and even to the development of this country, nobody can doubt that. I would say that it is not good for him, it is not good for the church. The debate and the discussions must end somewhere. How does it end? I think in all of this, the police should invite all parties. I am of the view that the police should invite Reverend Mati, the police should invite the former PRO, the police should invite the current PRO, so that they can delve more into the matter. Because, you know, the issues they are raising are serious issues of national concern.
Issues of bribery.
Issues of bribery, issues of corruption, issues of political parties or politicians coming in. You know, when you start making those statements, then you have self-invited the national apparatus into your, as it were, private activities. But I think it does not augur well for religious leaders in this country. Whether it is true or not, we should have a way of bringing some sort of decency in the profession, or as it were, in the position of a religious leader. But I am of the view that the security agencies or the appropriate national institution that is responsible for that should invite the parties and then make sure that at least we are able to establish some credibility or otherwise in it and then move the process to another level.
Mr. Labi, he's pained, and you hear him say that he is a taxpayer and he knows some people in government, he calls them babies with sharp teeth, that they don't even pay tax. And his tax, that is supposed to be used to develop the country. These are the people who are, you know, stealing these monies, and yet they have the nerve to call him names and insult him. Should that warrant him going forward to make all of these claims? And now he's saying the police should come in. What do you say?
Let's place it within the context. The context is that of a man who has stepped down due to retirement from a certain highly sensitive position, moderator of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana.
Right.
In the U.S., they will call him the Moderator General of the Presbyterian Church of the U.S. It's a very, very big position. I mean, by any standard. And in such a position, you are subject to all kinds of attacks. They're having conditions when the head of the Metropolitan Archbishop of Ghana, the Catholic Church, has also been attacked and been vilified on various platforms for whatever reason. I mean, in his case, it traces itself back to the days of the PNDC. Now, here is a man who has been known to make very bold statements and has kept a lot of these things to himself. Now that he's on retirement, he feels he has to more or less let the cat out of the bag and tell, more or less warn people that even if you're a priest, you are also liable to temptation, right? So maybe stay on the narrow path. I am a Presbyterian myself, and I know what he's talking about. But I want to generalize it and say that whoever finds himself in public office, you know, must understand that he's serving the public and not serving him his private pocket.
The NDC General Secretary is reported to have said that he's NPP and he should simply admit that?
Well, whether he's NPP or not, I don't want to go into that. All I'm saying is that he's a public servant. He has made a statement about people attempting to bribe him, and he has refused those bribes.
He says he's a whole professor and he will not sell his conscience to any political party.
Very, very good. That is commendable if he says so. But we know of other professors who maybe are on the take or on the make. That can happen, right? But it more or less you speak of his personal integrity, his personal honesty. Fine. This is a value we need to inculcate in public servants. We need to inculcate in people as a whole. I have no problem with that. But I say at the same time that, you see, the political landscape is such that sometimes it's difficult for one to keep himself out of the public eye or without making a public statement of one or the other. But then let's go back to the old injunction. If you're an old man, like they say in Twi, that is, I don't know how to translate it into English, but keep your, some of your dangerous thoughts in your mind, or sensitive thoughts in your mind, without necessarily opening yourself up to this sort of. He doesn't deserve it. He's an old man now. He doesn't deserve all this opprobrium from whichever teeth of whatever level of sharpness. You know, let us wish him well as a retiring moderator of the church, but at the same time, let us take let us not throw away the baby with the bathwater, right? Let us separate the wheat from the chaff. It is the essence of what he says. The need for probity and accountability, like the ruling government founder has been saying. These are the values we need to go along with, and not as to whether it's coming from him.
He ended up saying somebody has tried to bribe him. He didn't name the person. Did he do us any good by not?
Well, he said to somebody, see, like I'm saying, I keep saying, if you know you are not the one being referred to, keep quiet. He hasn't mentioned anybody, right? So what is the merit in coming? Suddenly people come here and say, oh, we know he's NPP, so he's referring to us indirectly. You know, if you know you are not the one, just keep quiet. That's it. But the moment you open your mouth and start attacking him, you begin to raise people's hackles.
James, who should we believe now? There are people who say his former PRO should be discredited because he seemed to have problems with the narration he gives. The former PRO, Emmanuel Champon, was dismissed whilst this man was the moderator. He was dismissed from the church in June of 2013. And this incident where he said this politician, came to him with the money was supposed to be in July 28. On July 28, he was dismissed in June 21st. In July 28, someone asking the question, why will he want you, who's been dismissed, because you have part of the reason you were dismissed was that you also had problems with him. Why would he want to invite you a month after you've been dismissed to accompany him to accept what was supposed to be a bribe?
Samson, that is precisely why I share in the views of Doc and Vitus Azim that the matter ought to be investigated. Because Samson, on the surface, how do I disbelieve the PRO of a church to which Professor Mati was moderator? There's a saying that when the fish comes out of the river and tells you that the crocodile has one eye, you must believe the fish. But you have introduced another dimension, that at the time the alleged bribe was offered to Professor Mati, the PRO was not at post. That is a matter that is worth investigating. But some say the most important and fundamental question to ask is, why did Professor Mati not report the politicians in question who attempted to bribe him to the police at that time, given the fact that he's somebody who pontificates a lot about anti-corruption related issues, etc. That was a splendid opportunity for Professor Mati to have set the record straight by exposing bribery and corruption. He failed miserably to take advantage and expose the politicians in question. But Samson, for me, what is refreshing is that the PRO said, in no uncertain terms, that the politicians in question were not coming from the ruling party. That for me is refreshing. No, he said that. So for me, that assertion exonerates my party from the allegation.
I'm not sure he's the one who used the opposition politician.
No, Doctor, I have the report here, right here.
Okay, I thought that
here.
rather came from the PRO. It is from
sure.
an opposition politician.
That's right. That's the point I'm making.
Okay.
And I'm saying that it is refreshing for me to hear from the PRO that at least the politician in question who attempted to bribe.
That is if you believe this PRO who is being discredited.
Well, that is the point. Okay. And for me, I'm speaking for myself and my party,
right.
that at least some statement has been put out there in the public domain, which exonerates us.
But if you have a witness
from corruption and bribery
in court, who is discredited, do you believe him?
Oh, no. But how do you discredit a witness when you haven't subjected him to cross-examination? Which is why we're saying that the matter needs to be investigated. Whether the bribe was even offered in June or July, it's a matter that is worth investigating. Okay. But Samson, what has happened to, in conclusion, what has happened to Professor Mati is a lesson to men in Kasok. Who also want to double and act like politicians. They hide behind the pulpit and actually wade into political questions. You see, the Presby Church is a very large one, a very large congregation. It has paid its dues to Mother Ghana. And so you cannot run away from the fact that that is an inescapable truth, that there are the congregation, the flock of that church would come from the various different political parties we have in this country. And so as a leader of such a faith, you are duty bound to be neutral at all times.
But this investigation thing that is being called for, James, from your experience as a lawyer, how is this supposed to be done? If it's a question of bribe, how is the investigation supposed to be done?
He says some politician
so you go
attempted to bribe him.
So police.
So we need to. Yes, is the politician? That politician is he a public? Is he a public officer? If it's a public officer, then the Criminal and Other Offences Act, the provisions on corruption and bribery will apply.
They cannot compel.
It could even lead to prosecution.
They cannot compel him to disclose who it is. So how is it going to be?
Well, if he fails at that point, when he has been invited to make appropriate the disclosures.
Yes, he's not obliged.
We can put the matter to rest. Okay. But for now, it is too premature to assume that he wouldn't cooperate
let me hear,
with the police in carrying out investigation.
Too on it. Someone is asking that when Kwame Pianin said he saw someone trying to bribe President Mills, was it investigated? Why are we calling for investigations now? This is from George Asante. Kwame Sapong Sedu asked questions, including that he's not excited about the fact that the physician of Nana Akufo-Addo has been called onto the program to disclose his medical status, contrary to what we know to be the professional confidentiality thing about it. And he's saying, does this mean, where does this take us to? Would the next step be to get the president's physician to refute allegations that he has contracted some diseases and so on and so forth? He says this sort of fallacy in journalism is what will bring the country to the edge. I am shocked beyond comprehension. Perhaps I must go read my books on medical ethics a second time. Professor Kweku Asare says that the Supreme Court in Okujeto and Omaneboama and Jekbe Bichebilamte did not oust the jurisdiction of Parliament to investigate matters before Shraj. It's outside the jurisdiction of the court. But the court said that job is exclusively Shraj's job. I don't know what your interpretation of that is. And he says Article 1123 is a vehicle to force Parliament to consider any issue deemed important by 15% of MPs. Its intent cannot be defeated by powers arrogated to the Speaker by the standing orders. Okay, so he's emphasizing that argument that Chairman Sabonsu made. Yes.
Well, you see, my take on this is that it's a clear case of who the cap fits, let them wear it. The gentleman was giving a kind of validatory speech. He stepped down, he's going away. He's telling us, within the context, that's why I agree with Mr. Edulabi, because you say, well, Middle East, my friend Dr. Sain started talking, I put down the word context. He was speaking within the context. And everybody knows that he has been critical. He's come out several times to express opinion. And he's telling you that I'm going away. But please, these are some of the things that we found ourselves in. He then cites examples of the work he does and goes to South Africa to tell us that there were bishops who came out to speak. Otherwise, Nelson Mandela would have been where it was. Spoke about the liberation theologists and all that. But we ought to know that there's something we call the prophetic mission of priests. They should be able to have a prophecy. They should be able to tell us what is happening. I don't know whether in Agaga's, I think he's a Christian, are you not?
Yeah, he is.
If you have read the Bible, you are not telling us that many of the prophets of old were talking to the leaders of their country and telling them what they felt was going wrong and what God was telling them to do. So he has a prophetic mission. He spoke his mind. He says, I'm going away. I'm a full professor. Nobody can muzzle me. You don't come and give me money and think that I'll keep quiet. I will never keep quiet. I'll keep on talking. And he urges everybody to continue to talk. Who the cap fits, let them wear it.
Thank you very much. Benjamin Osei Jamara in Edinburgh says that, in the UK says that, isn't it amazing that, okay, that's running it. I want to read it. Okay, we have run out of time. I'm sorry about that. We have to go here. And my guests have been Dr. Eric Odro Osai, political economist and governance expert. Yao Edulabi is policy analyst, Convention People's Party. The Honorable Aiko Otu is former Attorney General of Ghana, and James Agalga is Deputy Interior Minister and MP. Also, we spoke to Samuel Intim Dakwa, a former clerk of Parliament. He was in Parliament for a very long time. Also, we spoke to Honorable Bagbin and Honorable Osei Mensah-Bonsu, as well as Yao Edujemfi, Professor, who is a physician of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Thank you very much and have a good afternoon. My outfit, as always, is provided by Latida 020-433-6444. And also you can cut your electricity bills by 90% by getting a Victron Energy solar power today. Have a good afternoon.